You're such an asshole.
All right, I got to be careful with this one because this guy has such a unique and interesting background that he'd be very easily identified. Not that he's not a celebrity or anything like that, but in the handful of very unique things about him, people be able to Google and find out this individual's name. So I'm going to keep it very anonymous while maintaining the overall intent of his request. So the guy's emails me. Hello, Aaron. I'm a 40-something entrepreneur living in an area. I wanted to ask you about your thoughts on my current dating situation, what your thoughts would be as to how I could make some good decisions going forward regarding my relationships or lack thereof. Also, ask you some general questions about how to find a good female complement to my life. All right, now key information. I do have to provide this. this won't pigeonhole you. You're 5'10". Oh, bad move. There he is. Good night. You're too short. Good night, everybody. You're not 6 feet tall. And there's nothing you can do about it. Good night, everybody. No, I'm only partly kidding, but that does play a factor. It's not crippling, but it ain't good. I mean, girls just want 6 foot, dude. Go look at the dating preferences and the parameters women set. 5'10" is slightly taller than average. You're taller than me. And there's nothing wrong with it. And you're in shape. You're in shape. You say I work out in the gym 5 times a week. It shows you have a good physique. And I do you do other things that keep you participate in various sports. Pay for a consultation on the phone. I say I don't know if you need one. I don't do phones. And then two, I don't know if it's all that complicated. So I said, give me some more details and some pictures. So he sent me a picture. Let me look at it here. You are in shape. Is that as big as I can get? Let's go. Well, that's as big as it gets. You oh God, I got to be real careful with what I say. You look nerdy. I'll put it that way. You're nerdy. That's not gonna pigeonhole you either. We have a millionaire who's 5'10" and he's nerdy looking. Now you are in shape, but you just have that face that looks like you're nerdy. And there's nothing wrong with that necessarily. But yeah, man, you could tell you were when people were going to prom or drinking or whatever else, you were tinkering with your doodads or your hobbies and practicing and exercising your IQ. It's not necessarily bad, but yeah, I was like, yeah, okay, he's kind of nerdy looking. Let me look at the other one. We had several emails, so kind of got to go back and forth. Yeah, you're in shape. Yep, there you are. And then here's another one. Let me kind of. Is that? Let me take a look. Man, I hate Microsoft Office. Yeah, it's not. You're not ugly, but you don't have the looks of Hugh Jackman. Is the other thing I'm saying. Um, and I won't mention other things because again, I do not want to identify you. So let me scroll down. Okay, so here's more of the details. Thanks for the reply. I'm the guy in the pictures. These are from last week. Concerns. My mom is getting older and not taking care of herself, and I see myself having to come and take care of her if she gets ill. She is irrelevant. Your other siblings don't have time to take care of her, etc. Okay, fine. You guys make a lot of money. I don't know. Don't let your mom get in the way of your work. Like, don't let your mom do the standard American thing. No, I'm not moving out of Ohio. Die, fine, die there. I'm not helping you out. You're like living you're not living next door. Hell no. You live in 150 miles away. So that way I don't have to see you. But if you take a spill, I can see you that night. That kind of thing. I know where I got my folks like, hey, you'll be down in Nebraska. And yeah, you'll be over in Wyoming a bit. No, you're not living next to me. The only point I have with your mom is obviously take care of her if she supported you and then just lay on her ass and eat bonbons. but don't have it affect the rest of your life. I live alone in a modest, slightly a little bit bigger than average home, in a place. Oh, and it has stairs, and I often think, what would happen to me if I saw? Oh, now I know why you mentioned your mom. I was like, why you break? Why, okay, take care of your mom. I often think about what would happen to me if I slipped and fell, and no one would find me for 2 days. Well, you probably die. You get the little button. Most of my friends are blue pill betas who live in the happy wife, happy life scenario, and I barely get to hang out with them unless I make all the effort. So socializing is a grind for me, and I have to make fun happen myself. Yep. You're of the age now. You gotta like the U.S. military. You got to bring the war to them. You got to get. You got to go there. Dating goals. So you're concerned. You're concerned about dying alone. Okay, everyone dies alone. Not only should that's like the worst reason to find a girl. There are much better reasons for like love, family, camaraderie, companionship, etc. But I would not live in fear. All right. So, and remember, in all negotiations with the opposite sex, you only control 50% of the variables yourself. The other 50% is controlled by the other person. So I think the first step here is to let go of control. I know you're a millionaire, self-employed, and you used to having control of all variables because that's how you affect the success you've had in your life. Girls are not science. Girls are not computers, and they're separate human. Hell, you can't even get your friends to come out. Those are dudes. So what I'm saying is stoically accept what you do and do not control going into this so that you don't stress out more than you have to. So that's a very healthy way to come and approach on this. Dating goals. All right, are you guys ready? Everybody get I don't think this is your sitting down chair. I think this is the popcorn. Everybody grab your popcorn. I would like to find someone who is low maintenance and not aspiring to be a breadwinner or too ambitious. I want a gal who is just nice and fit, goes to the gym because I go to the gym. I don't want to get married, but I want someone as a compliment to my life since I think my income is more than enough to run a household. I'm not able to move since both my companies are headquartered in the area that I live, and we have employees. Okay, so you have to oversee the workers. So you got like a real, real company. All right, I'm going to say if you haven't read the book of Numbers, Analyzing the ROI and the Pursuit of Women, please do. You are also in a leftist crap hole that doesn't narrow it down, where you're already what you would like. I'm going to tell you right now is less than 3% of the female population within the dating marriage age range that you're probably interested in. Right? That says nothing about personality. And once again, you have to stoically accept not only the fact that there's another human being and you only control 50% of the variables, but most women in your age group, of your dating age group, are not interested in marriage. They are not interested in men primarily. Men, again, somewhere between 7th and 4th on the list, depending on their age and the individual. And what you would like, low maintenance, not girl boss, nice and fit. I mean, and fit. 70% of American women, young or old, are overweight. So you're taking the 30% and who aren't going to be basically Marxist leftist girl, but it's just your numbers are rapidly whittling down. So once again, you have to align your expectations with reality and not waste too much energy or effort on it. I'm just trying to show you just how high of a cliff you're trying to climb to reel in your expectations to be congruent with what is likely to happen. Career. You studied STEM, graduated some time ago. You have added education and specialties. You're in, just so you know, ladies, for those of you who want to I want a traditional man, crying. Okay, here we go. This guy doesn't have several million saved up. This guy makes millions of dollars a year. His annual, the pile is multiple millions, but then he tosses on an extra million onto that pile every year. Where have all the good men gone? And I kind of got an ulterior motive here mentioning that. And then you and your brother have your own little things going on. So you got kind of a little family hobbies going on. And most of your colleagues are married, happy wife, happy life type of guys, high IQ guys that are not too fun to socialize with. I know, man. It happens. That's what happens. Reasons I want to speak with you. This is why I'm thinking my best path going forward is to find a woman to be there to meet my needs sexually and to be a compliment in your life. Well, your thinking is not wrong. Your thinking is 100% correct. It's genetic, it's nature, it's natural, it's instinct. That's the way it was supposed to be. You and I didn't get here because two people hated each other and wanted nothing to do with it for a long enough period of time for a deposit to be made and for it to take, for the check to clear, as it were. We're here. So this isn't, there's no, you don't have to explain why. Yeah, it's, Rolo always says, men and women are better together than they are apart. If you get the right gal, I prefer to have a woman in my life than not. All right. Well, time goes on. You kind of like, God, you're all a pain in the ass, aren't you? You're all a pain in the ass. No, I don't care what color the plates are. Go talk to a woman. But yeah, it's common sense. It's intuitive. It's no duh. It would be good for you if you found the right girl. It's a big if. The problem isn't what you want, it's whether the statistical likelihood, the statistical chances of you getting it. Or even worse, the risk that someone is going to hoodwink and play off of your genetic, desire for women and like, oops, I'm preggers. So that's something you, obviously being a millionaire, have to worry about. This is why I am thinking the best path going forward is to find a woman to be there to meet my needs sexually and to be a compliment to my life. And if something happens to me physically or health-wise, she will be there to help take care of me. All right. Yeah, but what if not? Again, the study coming out by Morgan Stanley, 45% of women by 2030, half the women will never be married and not have kids. A lot of us, half the men, have to acknowledge that half of the men will not be married and have the kids. And even if you did get married and had the family, there's still a 50-50, 45% chance of divorce that she won't be there anyway. And I know you would like to have that, and that's what we used to have, but there's a significant, a better than average chance that you will not have that. And so if you're wealthy, what I would do is like have a buddy system. I mean, can you get the I've fallen and I can't get up button? That's one of those things. I mean, if that is really a fear, go get one of those things now. And then if you ever fall and you can't get up, you hit the button, they come in and they save your life. And you could say, but I want someone there to be by my side. Like, yeah, I'm sure you do, but that may not be possible. And that's the whole premise. I have it linked below. Is the whole premise of the book, The Menu, is you go into a restaurant and it's the best steakhouse in the entire world. Like, I like to order some steak, and they say, "Sorry, sir, we're all out of steak." You say, "But I came here for steak." Yeah, well, the steak isn't on the menu. That's why I called it the menu. And then you have to go and choose from everything else on the menu. But if this really is a concern for you at night, solving it secularly, not with a loving woman in your life, is you get the robot. You get the a lot of guys are solving their sexlessness with prawn. You will solve but I don't want to die alone with the what is it called? Life alert. Life alert, is that what it's called? That one. I have no aunts or uncles or cousins or family to rely on. And my father passed away. My family, we don't need to know that. Boobity boobity bobbity boo. My brother is married and has children, and his wife is not a team player. And she doesn't like to hang out with you that much. Therefore, it does get lonely here where I live, living alone especially. Again, just trying not to identify you. I have made many sacrifices in my social life to launch my companies, and my dating life has taken a backseat to creating wealth in companies. I got to the gym for my health and change of atmosphere from a long work day, 5 days a week. Well, that's good. See, all right, and here's another thing. Okay, again, you'd like women in your life. Who wouldn't? There are other people. If I want to go get a soda, I go to the soda that doesn't have a choice. It's a thing. I go to the store, I give them the money, I take the soda. Women take more cultivating. They got to take some convincing. So right off the bat, there's not a lot of things you can do that will immediately get girls, except for paying for it, which I'm all for. I'm all for. And maybe we might want to consider that. Right? Don't know if it's legal in your country or your state or not. But in the meantime, there are things that are 100% under your control that you could do. Hitting the gym, going out and joining social groups, meetup groups. I don't know if the meetup groups are ass in your town, but the meetup groups I've gone to in Vegas, Twin Cities, and Rapid City are all pretty much ass. But maybe they're more participatory, given, a lot of people are professional in that major metro. There are no single available ladies here where I live, just single moms and older people above the age 45 for the most part. I have no status, less than 100 followers on Instagram. Well, okay. And you're right if you're doing the online dating thing. I get it. That's what you probably have time for, and that's kind of the main thing. But how sad is that? Here you're a multimillionaire, but you don't have status on Instagram, which is no fault of your own. It's come to that. Like, you and me, we're too old for that shit. I'm not saying that you shouldn't go on Instagram and use it to meet girls. That's how it's modern day giving each other a number. But look at that, like, oh yeah, I don't have status on Instagram. Shut up. Oh no, I'm not wearing the fancy shirt. But I am red pill, high value guy that is fit and high income, but no one knows who I am. Most of my friends are not interested in hanging out because their wives run the household. Yeah, and they're also not going to set you up. My brother and I are going for. Oh, okay. You're going to go and try and do something to make even more money. This will cause me, and because of this business activity you're aiming for, it will cause you to be stuck in your town until 2027 and do some work in anticipation of that business. Are you okay? More than 25? No. That's it. All right. Anything else? Keep you anonymous? I think we did. Boo, 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 boo. All right. So here's the thing. I'll just kind of give you a top down, then we'll go on to like what you can do. Your situation is not unique. Now, you're unique just by your income alone. You have a tremendous work ethic. Your IQ is off the charts. You got hustle. You got discipline. You also have an intellect, not in terms of intelligence, but you obviously, at some level, enjoy what you're doing. In other words, it's not like you just go in, you clock a clock, you walk. Like, you enjoy your job, or at least you find it intellectually stimulating and rewarding. So you are exactly what all these girls are looking for. The problem is, one, you're not 6 feet tall. I know a lot of people saying, well, that shouldn't matter. No, it doesn't ultimately. I'm just pointing out right now, it is a statistical hurdle. It's not a deal breaker, but it's something that you're kind of facing. Two, you kind of got that little bit of a nerdy look, but that is more than compensated by your physique. Three, there's another physical ailment, which I'm not going to mention in the ailment trait. Not a deal breaker. You handled it just fine. I don't think it's less of an issue than your height. But again, I don't want to identify you. It's very minimal. So the things that are wrong with you are very minor. And yes, in modern dating on social media, your Instagram, you only have 100 followers, which is kind of nothing. But if you're going to be doing online dating, you're right. That's kind of a drawback. None of these are deal breakers. None of these are major problems. Nobody's perfect. These are your slight minor drawbacks and eccentricities. Still, two problems. One, women are horrifically picky. Their standards are so high and so delusional and so removed from the real world that these minor flaws that pretty much every guy has, I'm shorter than you. All right. I don't make as much money, obviously. These minor flaws are deal breakers in women's world. The other thing, and I beg of you to read the Book of Numbers, the Menu, and then go get Myron Gaines's book. I helped edit it. Why Women Deserve Less, especially the first part. Women are not interested in men as much as they used to be. And the very, very short version is this: for all of human history, women needed men to survive. That's it. We protect them. We made the food, clothing, and show. We did it. And they took care of the home, and that's how it worked. Their survival was contingent and dependent upon us. They didn't necessarily like us. And now that we have technology that's allowed for white collar work so women can support themselves, and here in the United States anyway, we have a welfare state, women don't need men. And they have told us that. You and I are roughly the same age. You've heard it your entire life, no doubt. And now that they don't need men, you are seeing their true and real interest in men. And it is nowhere near as much as we thought it was, and our interest in them. And so if they are going to settle for a guy, it has to be a very top tier guy. And you are probably witnessing this on online dating, where you gotta be it. The statistics vary. On the generous end, 20%. You have to be a top 20% man in terms of looks. Looks is the number one thing that matters right now. That's based on an OkCupid polling data. What percent of women rated as attractive? When you look at swiping data, women only swipe on 5% of the profiles. So that's like you got to be a top 5% using that. And if you're 5'10", I'm not joking. Like, let's be honest. In the olden days, if we were to rate ourselves and Bell distribution, remove your income and all that, you're like a 7.5 and 8. You're definitely in shape. And if we account for the fact that most American men are fat and soy and weak, you're probably, like, statistically speaking, a top 10% man. Again, if you're not fat, you're in the top 30%. You're in shape, you're svelte, you're trim, you dress nice. You're like an 8. That's not enough. And kind of like your friendship, this means you're going to have to bring yourself. You're going to have to bring the war to the girls. You're going to have to take a lot of actions here to get these gals. But the point I'm pointing out, the other problem is women just aren't that interested in men. And so, again, you have to stoically accept that. And if you don't believe it, please go read through Myron's book, Why Women Deserve Less, or the Book of Numbers. And so I'm trying to, well, you're a businessman. You're trying to sell a product that, based on the numbers, only 10%, there's only a 10% chance that market group is interested in your product. It's going to be a tough sell. And so I just want you, and so it sounds like you've been working this entire time, which is fine. I'm not criticizing that at all. You've achieved some amazing and great things. You've lived an amazing life, but things have changed since the 80s and the 90s, when perhaps you were a young man and first starting the date before you went on. It's like you're a submarine. You've been submerged for 20 years and you come back up for air like, hey guys, what's up? And it's like, you're like, holy shit, what the hell's going on? I'm like, yeah, it's pretty bad out here. Things have changed since you've been around. And so, one, I want you to reel in your expectations and align it with reality. Please go get those books, read through it, look at the numbers, the statistics, you understand. 2, I don't want you wasting your time and efforts, and also your emotion when you start chasing after these girls, because you're going to get shot down. It's pretty bad out there. So don't take it personally. Just women don't have that much interest in you. And 3, you being a millionaire and being successful, I'd maybe not tell girls about that. I'd be very cautious with my money. Now, I have some females that you might be interested in. Also, the girls in my audience, the few of them tend to be more traditional. So hopefully maybe we could set you up with someone. But outside what I can do for you here with this video to reach out to my audience, be real careful with you dating out there, especially the town you live in. Well, every major town, leftist girls and all that, and they're not conducive to marriage. Like, you want a nice, demure, sweet, supporting woman in your life. No, it's not. Okay, yeah, good luck. Right? So those are the risks that you kind of face. Now, what can you do practically going forward? All right. Well, you've done a lot of everything you go to the gym, you're in good shape. You dress well, it looks like. I'm not a big guy in fashion, but it looks like you dress well. But the other things you can do, one, start asking out girls in person. I know you want to do Instagram because maybe it's efficient, and you should boost your Instagram and get pictures and all that with hobbies and things that you do, fine. But I would avoid going online dating because it just isn't worth it. And it's not cost beneficial in terms of the time you got to invest into it. I would be asking out girls in person. That means now, number two, you got to get out there and go do stuff. What, ask girls out? No, not necessarily. I mean, you can go out and start asking girls out. I wouldn't do it in your own hometown because, oh my God, there's that creep over there. Ask girls out. Heaven forbid. But to kill two birds with one stone, right? You've come up for air. You're looking around. Now you got time to be social. I would go and be social. Take some ballroom dance classes. Learn how to salsa. Learn how to swing. Go into the kayakers club. Go. That's why I asked about meetup groups. Go out and do some social. Play volleyball. And get out there and go live your life and have fun. And hopefully, like, let's say you really like volleyball. I don't know if you do, but let's just say you do. You really enjoy volleyball. Well, girls play volleyball. And here's this cute girl. And she plays volleyball. And she's about the age range that you're interested in. And you ask her, like, hey, do you want to go, like, get a glass of wine or something? I don't know what you do. And she says no, because that's about what 3/4 of them are going to say. But one of them's going to say yes. And so I know there's the online world of dating, but it's a trash heap. And if you look at the statistics, which are cited in several of those books, the average person spends about 90 minutes a day, men and women, on online dating. You don't have time for that, sir. Not you. You got tremendous opportunity costs. Absolutely not. So I think your time is better invested going out in person, doing fun physical activities, and meeting girls along the way. And then if you're at the grocery store getting food and there's a cute girl, ask her out. And if you haven't asked out girls, you need a little bit of guidance, you could talk to Troy Francis. Let me know if you're interested. I can hook you up with him, but it ain't anything that you didn't do in the 80s and the 90s. There's a cute girl like, hey, you're cute. You want to go out? And there you go. So it's going back to old school ways because the online dating is just a freaking nightmare. It's just a tremendous waste of time. And the only people I know that have had success with it are your genuine 10s, these guys who look like Chippendale dancers. You don't look like a Chippendale dancer. Neither do I. I'm not slamming on. I'm just saying 8s. No, you need to be a 10 to go on there for that to be worth your time. Then what? So we did. Oh, here's another thing. You may want to think about going overseas. Now you have some lineage from another country. And even though you said, well, yeah, but I was born and raised here. It's like, okay, yeah, you were. But I have several friends, particularly Vietnamese, who it's the same thing. Their parents came over during the Vietnam War. The kids were born and raised here, but they ended up going back to Vietnam. And surprise, surprise, they found a nice, sweet, traditional woman. And whereas I'm not for nor against the passport bros, I understand it is what it is. It is a logical economic consequence of a toxic dating environment. So I'm for what they're doing, but not in terms of like I can't get laid here because I didn't try. Do make efforts here, but part of an arrow in your quiver, one of the bullets in your gun should be to travel overseas. Now, you may not have the time, but you do have the money. And so I'd strongly recommend perhaps going back to the home country. Even though you weren't raised there okay, there's still some cultural commonalities you have with people from your home country. You might, and no doubt, you must have some relatives, maybe distant as they might be, a cousin or something, who might be able to set you up. Because I'll just be very clear with you on this. In the United States and the West in general, you are fishing in a sewer. This environment does not generate women who want to get married and are capable of being married in the happy, traditional, doting, supporting, complimenting relationship. Married or not. I know you said you didn't want to get married, but committed. They're just not. You see it with your friends. The wives won't let them out. What? My girlfriend or wife ever said, oh, no, you can't? Excuse me? But it shows you what the men are willing to accept in this country. I want to catch a northern pike in this lake. It's like, okay, this is not the lake. This is the Detroit sewers. Is there a chance there's a northern pike here? Yeah, I guess. But you got to go fishing other places. So depending on how important this is to you, and given the precious value of your time, just how precious your time is, I would be not going on online dating sites, not doing like sex tourism. I'm not talking about that, but fly to a foreign country, go and travel. Again, killing two birds with one stone, because traveling is fun. You're going to enjoy it. You'll find other cultures. Perhaps go back. Why not go back to the home country? Oh, where my family from? Oh, here it is. Great Uncle Herbert was here. Oh my God, look, there's his grave. Oh, great Uncle Herbert. Heard so many stories about him. And see if you like, there's not, appreciate the culture, architecture, participate, whatever. But then, all right, are the girls nicer here? And there's the standard, yeah, the Dominican Republic, the Philippines, Southeast Asia. Those girls are more traditional. There's also kind of the infrastructure, groundwork that's already been laid down where so many other American men have gone there. And they're kind of know, like, oh, yeah, here's where you talk to the girls. So if you're looking for that committed relationship, you want a traditional woman. There are very few traditional women in this country. No different than, okay, a chemical from the farm field ran off into this lake and killed off all the bass. I want to catch bass. I got to go to a different lake. And that's what that is. And ladies, I don't want to hear you complaining. You're not traditional. You said so yourself. You also say you didn't need men. The traditional fish does not spawn here, live here anymore. You got to go to a different lake. And so if you want that, I think that's kind of what you're going to have to do. I hate to be so pessimistic about the domestic economy or lake here. But I think going overseas, for those of you men who are traditionally minded, want traditional women, I think that's the number one thing you can do. But as many other people have pointed out, if you ever looked at overseas dating, is there's a lot of scams. A lot of women have the ulterior motive of getting the green card. And so just like you got to be careful I wouldn't let any girl know that you got money. I mean, don't make it sound like you don't make any money. Say you make your 100,000, okay, just enough for people to know, okay, yeah, it's good enough. But also, you just like you got to guard your money and guard your reputation on that. You kind of got to guard yourself if you're an American going overseas, and look out for the scams. I know one guy where he had to keep sending the family money, and she would never come to the United States. Like, that's because that's a scam. Oh no, we can't meet, even though we're married. It's a long story, because my brothers will kill you. What? But keep sending me money, baby. So that kind of stuff you got to look out for. So yeah, those are kind of the things. If you got your sex, you want to have sex, just go to Vegas, go to the seeking arrangement, whatever, just pay for it. If you got to scratch that itch, you just don't have the time. You just don't. Again, you got to kind of be careful. You got to be careful all over. Isn't Trump now in trouble because he paid a porn star to have sex with him? Oh God, no. Horrors. Bill Clinton's fine. But Trump paid some gal to have sex with him. And look how that bit him in the ass. It's kind of like, oh, yeah, which is, it wouldn't be the worst if you came up with an alias. If you have any social media, like where your name is linked to your LinkedIn and it gives away what you do, I'd change your name to Chad Elkins and say you're an accountant in Chicago. That's what I would say. But that's kind of got its own issues. I'm just trying to scratch one particular itch for you there. But yeah, man, you got the point is, the brass tacks, you need to reel in your expectations with what is out there. Right. So you don't get depressed and you don't get your hopes dashed, and you don't overinvest in searching costs. And you do these handful of things. You got to put yourself out there socially and ask out girls in public. And try some out. I'll see if there's some traditional gals that might be interested in you. You already sent me some pictures, so I could send them in. Ladies, if you're interested in meeting a guy in his mid-40s who's a multimillionaire, who's looking for a traditional girl, Not a girl boss. No single moms. No, oops, I used to have fun, tee but now I want a tradition. No, like you actually are a traditional girl. I got a live one here for you. I got an actual, honest to God, multi-millionaire here. Oh, and buddy, I'd also look into getting a trust. That I would talk to a divorce lawyer. Like I would because you're a millionaire. You got to protect your assets. I would actually look into trust. Do the thing like the Moroccan Habibi. Like look into that. Where you get a trust or you give the estate is not yours. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You're the beneficiary. I think that'd be one of the more intelligent things you could do. And then finally, going forward, I would operate under the full knowledge that there's a good chance you just won't get married. If the numbers bear out based on the various estimates they have, half the people aren't getting married or committed, I guess is another way to put it. And that goes for you too. And so you want a traditional gal, you're going to have to go overseas. I'm pretty sure that's going to be part of your strategy. If they're here, fine, and go date and go out. Here's another thing. I encourage you to date here in the United States, get out there just so you see what it's like. So that when you do find a nice traditional girl, like, oh my God, you really value them and know, like, yeah, my girlfriend drives me nuts, but she's traditional. Oh my God, she cooks for me and does the dishes in the laundry. Well, actually, I do the dishes. She does the laundry because I do the laundry wrong. See, I do it wrong. All yours. And then if you want to do Instagram, I guess, man, but I won't worry about that. Oh, I'm apologize. The one other thing I was going to say, when you start going out and do these activities, that's where I bolster up your Instagram. I'm not a dunce. I know Instagram's very important. But if you go to my Instagram page, you'll see I got pictures of motorcycle rides and hikes and vistas and all that. Unknowingly, that's kind of the dating thing. Like, look at all the cool stuff I do. That will bolster your Instagram. And then I'm not the expert on it. Fresh over at Fresh and Fit, he's the expert on Instagram. But I wouldn't put more effort into it than that. Like, no, here's some really cool things. Here's me on a yacht. Here's me marlin fishing. Here's me, I don't know, whatever it is that you do. And so that should bolster it. And then another thing I'd recommend, Rich Cooper has a book called Unplugged Alpha. He goes through a pretty good breakdown on how to set up an online dating profile, which would parlay into Instagram. Having a good shirtless pic, this picture that you doing, it was pretty good, pretty basic, but I'd follow that if you haven't yet. And then I just lock in and you got your work caught up for you, both in terms of your real job and then the dating. And so ladies, yeah, if you want yourself a no sweethearts, he's not 6 feet tall. No sweethearts, he's not a 10. He's kind of got a quirky, nerdy look to him. No sweethearts, he can't bench press 350 pounds. I don't know, maybe he can. I'm going to assume not. I don't know. Do you want a hardworking guy that could support himself and maybe take care of you? All right. Cut the video out. Communications suck. That's all right. That was a temporary. I'm gonna leave. So hang on. We'll come back. I'm waiting. I'm just waiting. Here we go. My truth, $5. I do. Oh, wait. Is he below the mythical 6 foot? Just wait until these Gen Y and Gen Z turn mid-30s and have multiple babies. Then you'll shine. No. The data, if you look at it, actually, as women get older, they have less interest in dating than men. They still get perturbed because they can't capture the guys that they used to when they were 25, when they were 45, but they have less interest and their standards go up. And the internet just, I'm sorry about this, guys. You guys don't see it. All right, I'm just going to bang these out. If I don't get it, text me and let me guys know. Christoph Anon, $2 sellout, retire outside US, then get married. Dr. Paradox, $5. Chris, that isn't selling out. That's buying in. Being wealthy in America changes nothing. The women will still be UG with kids and UG/greedy. What's UGH? Red Alpha, €2. Hello, Cappy. Have you read Ikagi? No, I have not. My truth, $5. You clearly didn't wear high tops as a child. You'll never amount to anything. Only high top wearers become independently wealthy. Interesting quality adults. Nick Crocodilus, €2. Your stream is entertaining, but to be honest, gonna leave for Lumi. Nonstop Dre, $2. Chad asks his wife for permission to drink and go out. Nonstop Dre, $2. Congrats on your engagement, Cappy. #real man. Thank you all. All right, I'm out of here. Gotta go. See you guys later. Toodles.